So good morning, everyone. I'm from the team Zoho developer. Today I'm here to talk about how to take your industry solution idea to the market effortlessly. So in the agenda today, I'll be going through the introduction of Zoho developer platform and the types of solutions you can build, and about creating industry specific solution, the widgets, the embeddable apps, which is creating your own UI, and finally about the mobile apps. But towards the end of this widgets topic, I will also walk you through a demo from a sample use case in real estate, and also implementing widget from the scratch, a quick demo about creating custom UI and embedding it into your CRM, the industry solution. So let's get started. Zoho Developer is a cloud-based development platform. It offers the fast and easy way to build and deploy your own enterprise class solutions without you having to invest time and effort on the infrastructure and the operations. So unlike the legacy platform, it is easy to get started with the development process because platform offers all essential app components, data sources, the functionality set, which you need to get started with the development process on creating the functionalities, business logics, and all. So you don't have to start from the scratch at all. There is no need for building from the drawing board. Also, platform empowers both the type of users, like if you have developers and non-developers contributing in the application development. Platform provides a different level of tools that suits their expertise and their background. So the non-coders can actually use the drag and drop builders and point and click controls on the UI to build the functionalities and the business logics without having to code anything. Likewise, the developers can unleash their programming skills to build any advanced functionalities and complex integration using the combination of low and pro code tools from the platform. So what are all the types of solutions you can build from the platform? That depends on the type of domain, the target audience, and how extensive is the solution you are planning to build. So based on that, you can choose to build your solution as an extension that fits into the Zoho products, specific Zoho products. Platform encompasses the Sigma tool here. The Zoho developer homepage encompasses it. So you can start building your solution as an extension through the Sigma platform, or you can build an industry-specific solution that fits into the one industry. So extension comprises the common functionality that can address any typical requirement, challenges in the business who uses the Zoho products, right? So you can package such common functionalities as an extension and launch it in the marketplace so that you can have it reach millions of Zoho users across the world. Or also you can share your extension privately with a closed group of the network of Zoho customers whom you have. So vertical solutions is an application that has been tailored for a specific industry's requirement, a niche business requirement. It's an opportunity to introduce a new market for the industry veterans and who are with the strategic concepts and ideas to win their market. So it's a great avenue to monetize your app development skills and the deep domain knowledge. So let's see what it takes to build and deploy your industry-specific solution. So Zoho as a platform offers all essential app components, the data sources, the workflow engine, the dashboards and reports, and whatever you need to get started with adding the blocks, the functionalities that actually can accommodate the real world's need, right? So given that it already saves 60% of your time and effort involved in the development process. So all you need to do is to create a unique layer of the customization, the configurations, and the functionality that can accommodate a real world problem. And on top of that, you can make some contextual integrations which can bring more prosperity and value to your solution, and it'll assure that your solution stays on top of the industry always. All right, just like the development phase, the deployment and the process of taking your solution to market goes uncomplicated with the platform, because Zoho sets up with a process to handle all heavy lifting tasks such as the sign up or sign in or authentication, billing, whatsoever, the security, whatever the process which is crucial to take your application to the market, all that will be handled by Zoho. So you don't have to worry about it at all. And all you can do is you can just build an industry specific solution with a more focus on addressing the industry needs, and just test your application on the console itself. So if you see, you got a test your application button. So this is the app console. On the far right top, you have a test your application button. Console is bundled along with the sandbox environment. So you'll be able to put in the real data or sample data to see how the app is coming along, and test the functionalities performance as you build them. So once the testing is done, when you know that you're good to go to the market, all you need to do is you create your own branding. So under branding section in the app console, you can define your business domain from which your solution is going to run. And the next step is creating your own pricing model. If you look at the screen there, you have an option to mark up your own marginal value. So the base fee of 30 is what Zoho charges for the technology offering. On top of that, you can set up your own pricing, and you can create the multi-tier pricing plans, the different flavors of pricing plans that suits your application editions. So this is the key difference and the benefit which holds the value proposition with the vertical application idea. So vertical application gains a higher and faster winning rate because of its typical process and needs across the industry that goes similar. And also it gives a higher adoption rate because of its industry-specific design, the functionalities, and the compliances to the industry standards. So above all these, the technology analyst also reveals the fact that the growth for the SaaS application comparatively is growing because of its industry-specific designs. Demand is more among the businesses, and it is predicted to be a preferable choice by all business in the future. So let's jump into the interesting topic in this presentation, widgets and embedded UI. So widgets are a JavaScript framework, a library where you got all API and UI functions of your industry solution wrapped in it. So at times you might want to build your own user interface where you can incorporate the abilities of your industry solution in it. Also, you can build a sophisticated design with your own set of functionality framework. You may also mean to integrate your third-party applications within your custom user interface, right? So you can incorporate the APIs and client libraries of such third-party application, and eventually you can embed your custom user interface inside your solution to make it work in context to the use case that is required. So I would like to walk you through a quick use case sample from real estate. Let me open up my... So here is the app console of the vertical solution. I'm going to open up my sandbox. All right. So I got a module where I have a mix of buyers and sellers lined up in one module called buyers and seller leads. As a real estate agent, the case is to find a property that suits the preference of the buyer. Let's see Let's see how the solution helps me in finding a matching property for the buyer. We go to the buyer lead. Let me get into the customer, Amy Smith. Got the details, the person, basic information, and I have the preference, the property preference. I believe it's visible. So Amy Smith is interested in buying a flat with 2-bedroom and the bathrooms in a locality Glen Allen with an area of 1,000 square feet. So what do I have in here to find a property without making a lot of effort, and at the same time I ensure that the property which I find meets property preference of the buyer. I got a button here, says find seller. So this is not a native UI of the solution of the platform. Instead, this is built through the HTML and JavaScript work. And I got a couple of sellers pulled up from my system. Unfortunately, one of those is already sold out. The other one apparently didn't perform well in the previous deal. So what do? Let me pull up more properties from a multi-listing service, trying Zillow. So I get a pretty cool list of the property here. So let me select Chris Wood and the Manor Park. Give it a save. It creates a transaction with a qualification stage, and I got the details from the buyer information auto-populated into this transaction, along with those 2 properties I have selected in the find seller page, so in the related list block. And what I see here is just the minimal information, and that's good to have, but still I need more insight about this property so that I can confirm whether this property can be a right fit with respect to the buyer's preference. So I see, I still see this a little more information, which is good. And if I scroll down further, a related list block that shows more insights about the property in real time. It directly fetches the data from the multi-listing service Zillow, and it shows the images which is scrolling automatically, and the facts, and I also have Zestimate and the comparable homes and a map to identify the physical location of the property. So what it took to make this kind of custom UI is just the JavaScript functions where your industry solutions APIs and UI functions are wrapped in, that is also incorporated, and the Zillow APIs. So we made a deep search of the property using its property ID and the address to fetch in the information from Zillow at a real time, and it being presented here. Likewise, in your integrations, you may prefer to store the data within your industry solution, I mean, when it is a third-party integration, or you may not prefer to store it inside CRM. Whether or not you model the data inside, the custom UI is capable of fetching the data instantly and present it at screen when required. So in continuation to this, I would like to show you how a widget can be created from the scratch. Like, let's say if I go to Amy Smith's, my customer's page, right after finding a property, I need to follow up with my customer, right? So I do have conventional way to communicate with my customer. I have an email button, or I can make a call. It would be nice to send an SMS as well. But what I'm going to do now is to clear that component, the button component, and I'm going to do this from the scratch. Let's say kind of interface like this is what I'm going to build. This is kind of functionality already built, but I'm going to tear down this and show you how you make a UI, kind of this, and then how you can incorporate that inside your solution as one of the components, and then how you add logics to it so that it can add more power and get a SMS sent out to the customer. So I have a plain HTML page. The code, the entire elements of screen what we have seen used to be there. I just removed all of those and to show you in steps like how you add elements and make a UI build completely. Before you set up a component, you need to configure the connected application. The connected application is where you mention the domain from where your web service is running. I mean, the custom UI which you built, it used to be hosted somewhere, right? So this is where you configure the domain. Let's say I have a connected app says Twilio hands-on. So this is where I can configure whether it can be a AWS from where your service is running, your custom UI service is running, or it can be internal hosting, right? If you choose to host your service within Zoho, you do internal hosting. Else, in this case, it is being running from my computer, so I'm giving it a local host. And good. The next thing is we need to add a component, an iframe component from which the custom UI which you have built can be posed. So we go to the components. And I have a links and buttons. Here I do create new button, choose the module, where I need to name it as Send SMS. And I wanted to place it on the detail page. And I wanted to invoke a widget. And here is where you choose the connected application which you have, where you have configured the domain from which your service is going to run. And finally, the path of the directory in which the index HTML page is located. And you set the frame size to make sure it gets a correct dimension. All right. Okay, now let me get back to the client screen, the client's detail page. I should see the button which I have added, send SMS. All right, so what I thought to explain in steps with the HTML coding is, I need to have a header where it shows this is a Twilio SMS visit, and then you can add an element where you can show the customer's name to whom you're going to send an SMS, and then a mobile information, and you can type in the message you're going to convey. So if I have included an element where an error message can be prompted when SMS is not, the message is not written in the description box. So let me send out. Okay, so that sends out an SMS. I got the same message in here, and I got a note added to this. Whenever a message used to get sent successfully, I get a note appended just to confirm the message has been sent out. So here it is. That's the capability of widget. A simple use case. The efforts taken here is just a mere effort, but I would also like to show you, the functions which made this functionality up and running, right? So I thought of showing you the details of the HTML, but let me show you the functions you invoked in this SMS widget functionality. I have three simple functions. The first one is the very top line is where you define the global variables to hold the details like Twilio credentials, account SID, auth token, and all those stuff. And I have the primary function, document ready event, is where you invoke the widgets. You need to first initialize the widget. The very first line right below the get ready is where you invoke your widget so that you're ready to utilize the SDK functions. And in the next line, I have invoked the function says get page info. This is a command which is that wraps a function inside a library. So which is responsible to get the details of the page where your widget's custom UI is loading. So it fetches all the information from the customer record. It essentially picks the customer name and the mobile number. Also, these three lines takes the Twilio account number, security ID, and the mobile number, which is stored in the org variable, which is defined as one of the components of your solution. And in the next couple of functions, what I do is, when I click a button, send SMS, this function is getting invoked. This is where I get the details like the description message in the text box. And if, in case if the message is empty, it shows an alert you have seen in the demo previous step. Or if the message is not empty and if the customer name and the number is in there, it's going to send out the SMS to the customer. What we have seen here is a mere use case, but think about an industry where business commits on-site service delivery to the customers at the customer's location, where it is quite significant to control and manage the industry field level operations, right? So in order to accommodate the end-to-end industry needs, your solution needs to have advanced features, functionality, which can actually empower your users to manage all such work order management and dispatching the work orders to the technicians who has got the right skill and based on the proximity to the customer's location and based on its territory and availability, right? And it also requires incorporation of some complex UIs and the abilities of the map, which represents the live location of the service resources. So widget is a way to actually enhance your solution by leveraging the native components and native functionalities, and it enhances those the limitation of those standard functionalities and the modules and UI to accommodate this entire advanced feature set. So that's the capability of widgets. So the next thing is mobile apps. The vertical application which you build will also shipped along with this native mobile applications available in both iOS and Android. Your customer has to look for CRM platform, the app name, in both App Store and Play Store. The native mobile applications can also be distributed as rebranded apps. And the custom mobile applications platform offers the SDK so that you can create your own version of application with the desired screens and the functionalities that is required, demanded in the industry. With mobile SDK, you can create a mobile-first applications. I don't mean the progressive web application, but the development strategy that prioritizes the user's mobile user experience of your solution, like the field technician who needs an access only to the jobs assigned to him, but not anything else. So you can leverage the SDK to build such advanced functionalities. So we got a couple of functions which also very helpful, like developer access, which allows you to gain access to your customer's account without getting the credentials from them. It matters when they want you to do a configurations and customization that matters to them. While your vertical application is performing at the core level, it can also integrate with these 8 Zoho products to leverage its benefits to address the needs of both front and back office teams who uses a solution. And all these 8 applications can run from your custom domain. So before we wind up, I would like to quickly show you existing solutions which are performing well in the commercial side. We have one in the construction, coaching industry, real estate, insurance, franchisee consultants, healthcare, mortgage and insurance, and commercial real estate. So with that said, I wish all of you would have some idea and innovatives about creating an industry solution.